Hey. Thanks very much, Carmelo. Good afternoon to you, Scott. How are you doing?
All good, Jamie. All good.
Only one place to start, really. When were you first made aware of the possibility that you could be playing Spurs on Wednesday night, and when was it then confirmed to you that you definitely would be?
The possibility of playing Spurs came weekend, probably afternoon, Saturday afternoon. Obviously didn't think that would probably be realistic, to be fair, and then got told on Monday morning at 9:30 that we now fill in for Aston Villa's fixture, and we've got to play Spurs on Wednesday. So, as you can imagine from my point of view, I think I realise, and we all realise at this moment, we live in a time which is very not predictable. You're going to have to move certain things in terms of what you're used to. Certainly as a manager, we live in that climate every day, in the way we're managing at this present moment in time. And I probably speak for a lot of managers, and it's not ideal. Of course it isn't, but I certainly accept that. And I'm normally the last one to really moan or whine about anything, because I realise that it's tough out there, and this is the way it is. But what's happened to us, obviously, to confirm a game, a Premier League game as well. This is a Premier League, one of the best leagues in the world. To confirm that at 9:30 on Monday morning is scandalous, really, to be honest with you, because it's not about the fixture. The fixtures, that's fine. I accept that maybe we have to play, but it's the notice, and it's the, maybe these people in these places don't understand how you manage teams and how you manage players, but you're constantly working out in well advance. And what the decisions I would have made and we would have made, whether that's against QPR, whether that's players what are literally just coming back from, by the way, we've had it tough in terms of COVID. We've not been out there with numbers publicly, but we've had it very tough. And working them players over a weekend, knowing or thinking that you've got 6 or 7 days before your next fixture for them to obviously to get up to speed or to work them, that's quickly changed Monday morning. And for me, that it's madness, really.
Jose Mourinho's been asked as well this afternoon whether it's unfair on you, and he replied, "Are you serious? They had 48 hours to prepare for it. I was told 2 hours before kickoff that I wasn't playing them." But I take it from what you're saying, you do feel it's unfair. And do you feel that this wouldn't have happened to one of the big boys? Do you think Liverpool or United or City wouldn't be told 48 hours before to prepare for a game?
Well, I think to answer your question regarding being told the game's called off 48 hours before or 2 hours before, is really an irrelevance. All right? This disappointment that you've had a game called off, I understand that. But to have a game called on with 48 hours notice is, listen, I don't want to get into that regarding Jose, but I think he'll know too well that obviously you plan structures, you plan physical elements for players, what you do in the week or how you play for one game or the other. Tottenham knew they had this fixturing. They knew they had this fixturing. Jose's team selection at the weekend suggested that he's probably planned for the next however many games he's got, and they've got a lot of games, granted. So yeah, that's exactly where I see it. Do I see that this would happen if this was a top of the title clash with two of the biggest teams and managers what are probably constantly here speaking? No, probably not. Because, and rightly so, it's not. For me, this is not. It's not acceptable. This is the integrity of the game, the welfare of players. Like I said, we're now putting players into a position here after 2 days training. You haven't got to work it out in terms of be very bright in terms of work out. We had a game called off against Spurs 13 days ago, and the reason that game was called off was because we had numerous outbreaks of COVID. And in 13 days, we now sit here, and with 2 days' notice, we now have to put some of these players into a position to play the game.
To be clear, you were told by the Premier League yesterday morning at 9:30, you are playing this game. You had no say in the matter at all. You had no option of saying, that's not enough time for me to prepare. Sorry, we're not going to do that.
Well, I had a say over the weekend because I got initially told that this was a full process. This was something which was in the pipeline of what may happen. And from Saturday to Sunday, spent numerous hours. People in the places of this football club spent numerous hours trying to explain that this can't be feasible. It gives us hardly any time. It's in terms of what we've done, and I think that's more of my frustration. More of my frustration is that I can't turn back the last 5 days. I can't turn back the weekend. I can't turn back that. And then officially was told by my CEO at 9:30 on Monday morning that the game is official. And at that point, the next stumbling block was that maybe we would have to play on the Friday against Chelsea. To which at that point, I thought there's every chance they'll probably do that as well by what's happening now. So that game's now been moved. But so it was 9:30 on Monday morning.
Just finally from me, you sort of touched upon it there. Are some of your players still feeling the after effects of having contracted COVID? I mean, we're seeing Newcastle, I think there's a couple of players that are still suffering the long-term effects. Have you fully recovered, or is there still some illness lingering around?
No, none of my players are feeling the after effects of it. But like we all know the protocols. 13 days ago, games were called off. Well, the protocols are 10 days. So, like I said, it's 3 days, and there's players what are coming back. Players that have been stuck in their houses for the last 10 days and done no work. They've done no work, and now we sit here, obviously a week. Let's say that game on Friday, this game don't exist on Wednesday, and there's a game now on Friday. Even a week's work with these players, what have been obviously in their houses for 10 days, is some ask, really. But to think that we now chuck a game bang in the middle of the week when it wasn't there initially is another story. But my players are fine, and we will be fine. I sit here angry because I don't think it's right. I think it's wrong, and that's the reason. Do I believe that tomorrow we'll go the best prepared we can? Yeah, and I believe we give Spurs a game. I'm disappointed and angry because I just don't. I think this is wrong. What's happened? I don't think it's right on numerous reasons, and that's why I'm so angry about it. Really.
Thank you, Scott. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jamie. Stay with broadcast. Rebecca, PLP, please.
Good morning. Oh, good afternoon, Scott. Obviously, we can't change the fixture schedule. What has your message been to the players to make sure that they give you everything on that pitch tonight?
Look, I don't doubt that for 1 second. I don't doubt for 1 second the players, the work we've done in this short space of time and where the players are. They won't do that. So, but we've come under it a little bit over the last couple of weeks. But I often say to this team, it's these moments that you build something as teams and you build something as groups during the adverse times, and when things are a little bit down, that's when you really need to stand up. So that's exactly where it is. I don't have any fear regarding a mentality or a real purpose about us tomorrow.
And obviously, it has been a tight turnaround for you. Can you give us a little bit of how the prep work has worked for the game against Spurs?
Again, to be honest, the tight turnaround is not the issue for me. Honestly, other teams, we got it. We got fortunate over Christmas in the sense of the way the fixtures worked out. Some teams had to play literally 2 games in a matter of 3 days. So I'm not upset about that. I understand that that's the way it is. My real frustration and anger comes from the amount of time I've been given. That's fine. We can play Wednesday. We can play Wednesday, Friday. We could play Wednesday, Saturday. That's not an issue at all. The issue is that as a football manager of a football club, training players, obviously, from where we are in terms of the amount of COVID we've had, in terms of developing them players and where you push them, where you see them, it would have been very, very different to where we are now. That's what it is.
And following on from that, have you got any injury updates for us? I know Josh Onomer is back and keen to get his old club Spurs.
Everyone's fine, to be fair. There is no real injury update. So we are where we are in terms of that. Josh Onoma's obviously back. Terence Gregola come out of the game well. Same with Kenny Tete. So yeah, we're all good in that sense.
And last question for me: draws in the Premier League. You had a win on Saturday. Do you feel that will be a little bit of a boost for you going against Wednesday?
I don't think just from Saturday's fixture. Obviously, we got a win, which was good, but I think we're coming out of a run of some very good results in the Premier League against some very good sides. So, of course, I think I've said it a few times. Can we turn them draws into 3 points? But I think over the last 6 or 7 games, the team have done remarkably well, and we need to keep pushing on that. And we need to kick off from where we left off last time we played, and hopefully we can do that.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rebecca. Ian Abrahams, TalkSport.
Hi, Scott. How are you?
Good news. How are you, mate? You all right?
Yeah, very well. I don't think I've ever seen you this angry. I've never heard you use words like scandalous before. Is this the angriest you've ever been in football? I mean, you seem at boiling point today.
Yeah, no, I just think it's wrong. I just think it's. I keep going back thinking, has this ever happened before? I don't think this would ever happened before. I just wouldn't have expected it to happen, and I just think it's just blatantly wrong. And like I said to you, like I've just said there, it's not about the amount of games and how quick they've come and the fixture pile-up. I get that. I totally understand that. This is a predicament we're all in. And listen, I'd be the last moaning about that. I don't play in Europe like some of these teams. We don't go. We ain't even got that fixture pile. So I totally understand that. My big problem here is the time. You'll be told at 9:30 on Monday morning that you're going to play a Premier League game against Spurs on Wednesday. It's just. Yeah, it's beyond belief, really.
Is this about player welfare?
Well, there's definitely an issue there. There's definitely part of the issue there, 100%. Because the people in the places what are making these decisions understand the scenario we've been under, and that scenario has not been publicised. I sit here most weeks, and I'm very conscious of the fact that in terms of numbers and being really precise because of the confidentiality of it all. But this what we had, these people in these places, they understood that. They knew how many we had, how many COVID, the problems we've had. And 13 days on from that, like I said, it's a 10-day isolation period for people who have come in contact with someone with COVID and someone who've got COVID. Well, I'm right. I think I'm right in saying it was 13 days when this game was called off. So, like I said, let's give these people 3 days to come out of their houses, and now they're expected to train, get up to speed, and play a game. So, yeah, welfare is definitely there.
Does this highlight more than probably anything else? And we've had lots of discussions about whether or not players obeying the rules should be used as the barometer. But does this maybe highlight the fact that either A, we need to stop and pause, or B, we need to extend the season beyond where it is now? And if that means we don't have a European Championship this year, that means we don't have a European Championship this year.
No, I don't think that. No, I don't think that at all. I don't think for 1 second that, we couldn't have put this fixture. I know Tottenham they've got a lot of fixtures coming up, but we could have been more flexible. I'm sure if you look further down the line, is there a spot in that? Are Tottenham realistically going to get through to every competition to the end of it? Well, we won't know that until probably later on in the season. Is this a moment then? And I understand if maybe we're making that call at that point and we've eradicated every other scenario. But look, we're here. We want to play. We want to be in this competition. People want to watch football. But certainly, I think this decision what's been made here is there's a lot of reasons for it. Why I suggest it's wrong. Integrity of the game, welfare of players, and just like I said, it doesn't make a lot of sense.
And just one more on this. You've still got the away game at Burnley, haven't you, to rearrange?
Yeah.
So would you say to the Premier League after tomorrow night, involve me a little bit more. Let me have a little bit of an input, because I'm the one that's managing these players. I'm the one that's coaching these players. And rather than just tell me 48 hours beforehand I'm playing.
Yeah. I'd like to think that conversations happened last time we was here 13 days ago, leading into the Tottenham game, with medical staff, people what are in the know, people what understand it. It then took 2 hours before kickoff, or 3 hours before kickoff, for the game to get called off. The scenario, that the information that everyone had back then was they've had that for a long period of time, 36 hours, 24 hours. And again, in this situation, but exactly that. Yeah, we knew last week that Aston Villa had a problem. Aston Villa's game against Spurs was called off. It was well documented that the majority of Aston Villa's team were in isolation. They then fielded an under-18/23 team, a game against Liverpool. So we knew then that maybe that their game on Wednesday, or probably will be, called off. Well, at that moment, tell us, because tell us, look, this is what's going to happen. Let's be proactive. Again, I'm really weary, because I do understand that the Premier League and the position they're in and what they have going on at the moment is immense. That's the way it is. You know, if I'd have known this, we'd have known this Thursday, Friday. You know, not a problem at all.
And last one then on the game. I mean, former Spurs captain, you enjoy going back there and winning, especially with what's happened in the build-up.
Yeah, look, looking forward to the game. Looking forward to playing against a very good side. Looking forward to us going back into Premier League football, because, like I said, it come at a poor time for us to stop, because we was in a good place, but the team have worked hard. We've come through this side of it all now, and we're looking forward to getting back on board with football. I'm looking forward back to going there and playing against a very, very good side.
Cheers, Scott. Thanks for your time today.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thanks, Ian. That completes the broadcast section.